Let's get right into the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. This is your central hub for managing literally everything: users, services, security configurations, and the overall health of your Microsoft 365 environment. For anyone stepping into IT or specifically preparing for the AB 900 exam, becoming fluent in navigating this interface isn't just a nice to have. It is absolutely essential for your day-to-day operations and troubleshooting. Picture a massive logistics dispatch center. Just like a dispatcher sits in a control room monitoring every single truck, route, and delivery, an IT administrator uses this web-based portal to oversee their entire IT environment. Right when you log in, the dashboard UI immediately hits you with a summary of user activity, license usage, service health, and recommended actions. It organizes everything neatly into categories like users, devices, roles, billing, and settings. But the real genius of this interface? It's completely role-aware. So what does a role-aware interface actually mean for you? Well, in plain English, the system only shows you the buttons and dials you're actually authorized to touch. Moving up the concept ladder to the technical side, a global admin is going to see every single setting across the entire platform. But if you're assigned a specialized role, like an Exchange admin, the interface dynamically shifts so you only see email-related settings. For the AB 900 exam, understanding this role comprehension is huge. You have to know that this design is purposely built to prevent accidental changes by restricting access based on someone's exact job function. Section 1. Users and License Management. Assigning licenses in Microsoft 365 is exactly like handing out employee security badges and specialized equipment on a new hire's very first day at the office. The license type you assign directly determines which features a user or a group of users is actually allowed to open and use. You can hand these out individually, or you can use group-based licensing to automate the process for everyone in a specific department. Now, pay close attention to this for the exam. Group-based licensing has strict limitations. It maxes out at 20 groups per assignment, and it absolutely does not support nested groups. You also need to know the distinct differences between our major license tiers. With a Microsoft 365 E3 license, you're giving a user the core productivity tools: Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, and Teams. Simple enough, right? But stepping up to a Microsoft 365 E5 license unlocks the heavy-hitting advanced capabilities. We're talking Microsoft Defender for Office 365, e-discovery, and deep compliance analytics. The AB 900 exam is going to test your ability to balance cost efficiency and compliance. So knowing exactly when a user just needs E3 productivity versus E5 advanced security is a critical skill to master. Let's walk through the exact provisioning workflow, because you will be tested on this flow. Let's say you're setting up a new remote employee. Under active users, you create the account, but stop right there. Before you do anything else, you must set their location. Licensing enforcement legally depends on that user's location attribute. Once that location is locked in, then you assign the license, you configure multi-factor authentication, or MFA, and finally, you add them to a security group, like remote workers. This specific step-by-step flow ensures they get the right conditional access policies applied instantly. Section 2. Service-specific admin portals. If the main Microsoft 365 Admin Center is your corporate headquarters, think of the service-specific admin portals as your specialized branch offices, like HR, legal, or accounting. The main center gives you that broad, high-level oversight, but these dedicated portals give you deep, granular control over individual services like Exchange, Teams, and SharePoint. You can jump into these portals directly or just use the modular links right inside the main admin hub. So what exactly are you controlling in these branch offices? Over in the Exchange Admin Center, or EAC, you aren't just handing out email addresses. You're managing shared mailboxes, setting up really complex mail flow rules, configuring accepted domains, and enforcing legal compliance through retention policies and litigation holds. Meanwhile, in the Teams Admin Center, you get deep control to create channels, configure messaging and meeting policies, manage app permissions, and even monitor the analytics for call quality. These portals go way beyond what the main Admin Center can do on its own. Okay, here is a classic trap they love to spring on the AB 900 exam. You might go looking for a dedicated OneDrive admin portal. Well, you won't find one. All OneDrive settings are entirely managed within the SharePoint Admin Center. This covers critical controls for sync behavior, sharing permissions, storage limits, and device access. Always remember, OneDrive is built directly on SharePoint's architecture, so naturally, that is exactly where you manage it. Section 3. Configuration and Global Settings. Configuring your global settings is a lot like establishing the standard operating rules for a massive retail chain. You want the exact same uniform branding, the same universal security codes, and the exact same rules for who is allowed into the stockroom across every single store. In Microsoft 365, all of this happens under org settings. This is where you set up DNS records, configure vanity domains to match your company's branding, and even manage tenant roles and calendar sharing if you're operating a multi-tenant organization. Taking this a step further into the technical side, these configurations literally shape your entire security baseline. You customize the profile branding, so your users recognize official, safe communications. You establish security defaults, meaning you're requiring MFA for everyone, and actively blocking vulnerable legacy authentication protocols. You configure external sharing to decide if guests can even access your SharePoint files, or maybe restrict sharing entirely for sensitive departments like finance. For the exam, you need to understand that these org settings are what enforce your organization's legal and security compliance universally across the board. Section 4. Monitoring health and usage. Think about the warning lights on the dashboard of a delivery truck. They alert you to low fuel, a drop in tire pressure, or engine issues way before you actually break down on the highway. Monitoring tools in Microsoft 365 do the exact same thing. They are a totally vital part of administration, giving you real-time system visibility so you can proactively detect issues early, keep your uptime high, and even track how well users are adopting the shiny new tools your company just paid for. Let's look at the technical flow of a real-world incident. Let's say you suddenly detect a massive spike in failed sign-ins from a specific region. That is the event. You immediately check your service health dashboard and sign-in reports. Your investigation quickly reveals that there's no system outage, it's just a misconfigured conditional access policy. You jump in, fix the policy, and boom, resolution is complete before most users even realize there was a hiccup. You can even set up email alerts for specific services, so you're notified the second things look weird. Now, for the AB 900 exam, you absolutely must be able to clearly distinguish between these three specific tools. The Service Health Dashboard is strictly for real-time visibility into service status, outages, advisories, and planned maintenance. Usage reports are completely different. They track adoption metrics, active users, and storage consumption. And finally, the Message Center is where Microsoft communicates upcoming changes. So if a brand new Teams meeting policy is rolling out next month, the Message Center is where you go to find the guidance to prep your users for it. Section 5. PowerShell and Automation. Clicking around manually in the web interface is kind of like hand-packing boxes one by one. Sure, it works, but man, it is slow. PowerShell is like installing an automated factory conveyor belt to handle massive bulk orders. The graphical interface is great and user-friendly, but developing proficiency in PowerShell is absolutely key for IT professionals who need to scale their capabilities, run complex queries, and execute bulk operations without spending hours just clicking through endless menus. Microsoft gives us specific PowerShell modules tailored for different services. You've got Exchange Online PowerShell for mailboxes and transport rules, the Teams module for policies and provisioning, the SharePoint Online Management Shell, and the Microsoft Graph PowerShell SDK for unified API access. Let's tie this right back to the AB 900 focus on cost efficiency. By using an admin script, you can automate a bulk process that, say, checks for mailboxes with zero activity in the past 90 days and automatically disables them. That single system update improves your security and instantly frees up really expensive licenses. Section 6. Real-world scenario. Responding to a service outage. Responding to a service outage is basically an IT fire drill. You do not panic. Instead, you follow a strict, predictable, established procedure to ensure safety and system clarity. When an incident hits, you have to know exactly where to start your investigation, how to clearly communicate what's happening with your stakeholders, and how to update your documentation once the dust finally settles. The crucial takeaway here is this exact technical workflow. Imagine your users suddenly report they can't access their email. Step 1, you check the Service Health Dashboard, which confirms there is an active Exchange Online incident on Microsoft's end. Step 2, you subscribe to updates and immediately notify your users through Teams. Step 3, while you wait on Microsoft to fix it, you use Exchange Online PowerShell to verify your own mail flow and confirm no internal configurations got messed up. Finally, once Microsoft resolves the issue, you send a follow-up message to the company and update your internal documentation. Knowing this exact sequence is a core competency for the exam. We've covered this central logistics hub, your granular branch offices, how to handle global governance, proactive monitoring, and the incredibly automated power of scripting. The tools are all laid out in front of you. Your next step? Go boot up a developer tenant, try running your very first PowerShell script, and prove you have what it takes to crush the AB 900 exam. So, Are you ready?